بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا Muhammad. Your Excellencies, President and members of the Association of the Italian Banks, heads and managers of the Arab and international banks and delegations, the members, the chairman and the members of the board of directors of the Union Arab Banks, ladies and gentlemen. In the beginning, I'm pleased to extend my sincere appreciation and gratitude for the invitation to participate in this forum that matter all economic sectors in the Arab and the European world. I'm glad to speak in front of this distinguished combination, business and financial leaders who are gathering in the Italian capital Rome, a city which I always like to come, not only to discuss the revival and the renewal of the historical relation between the Arab banking sectors and its European counterpart, but in order to lay the foundation and the necessary steps to strengthen the relations and deepening trade partnerships and ties. On this occasion, I would like to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to the Italian Banking Association for hosting the events of this forum. And thank God also to the Italian government for its support for such events to build the bridges and communications between the Arab and the European world. I am also pleased to thank all those who contribute to the success of this meeting, either by attendance or by participation. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been asked to deliver a speech on the Islamic banking. And, I like to mention that the Islamic banking is growing very fast these days. The Islamic financial or the Islamic finance industry, which we are going to discuss, the prospect of the growth and the expansion outside its traditional markets, and particularly in the Eurozone, has become today an integrated industry in terms of both applied techniques and laws and standard framework. In order to demonstrate this, let us look at some facts and figures. The diversified financial sector of the industry, which include banks, takaful companies, which is the insurance company, finance companies, instrument and investment fund, which are numbering about 600 institutions spread across more than 60 countries around the world, including 34 institutions in Europe only. And without taking into account the Islamic windows and the institutions that own Islamic products in Europe. The volume of the assets managed by the industry was about 300 billion in 2001, an increase to nearly 1.8 trillion now. And this is a very important indicator to demonstrate the prestige enjoyed by the industry in the world. I believe that most of you has already heard what's happened in UK 3 days ago, whereby the government has already agreed to issue sukuk by the first quarter of 2014. And for your info, there are about now 6 Islamic banks in London, in Britain. 2 of them out of the 6, it took me the pleasure to say that I create them, and with one of them has been created with me by my friend Mr. Hatem Abu Said. Moreover, and despite the slight decline in growth during the period following the world financial crisis, the industry has been able to achieve a compound annual growth rate in range of 39% during the period from 2004 till 2011. And for your info, none of the Islamic banks has been involved in the crisis. Why? Not because we are very clever, but I think that our standard does not allow us. 2 reasons which stop the Islamic banks to involve in the crisis. The first one, Islamic banks do not buy debts. We don't buy debts. And most of the banks, either European or the American or the Asian, they have already involved in the mortgage loans which has been created in the United States. The second issue, which is the derivatives. Islamic banks do not involve in the derivatives. We don't, have options, swaps, interest rate swaps, all these things. We don't believe in it because it does not add anything to the economy at all. Improvement and organizational and supportive environment where the industry now has three professional organizations responsible for developing international accounting and auditing standard, which is located in Bahrain, Sharia and audit and legal standard, which is also located in Bahrain, and the control and supervision standard, which is located in Malaysia. The market has expanded significantly, as I said, to include a new geographic range in Britain, France, United States, Japan, China, and other Western countries. I believe that we came here 5 years ago, myself and Mr. Abu Saeed, to introduce the Islamic banking, and we discussed it with the Italian society here in Rome, and they were supportive to it. But after that, because of the crisis, as mentioned by the chairman, this issue has not been taken further. Although that, other countries like, Britain and France, they have already supported the Islamic banking. Moreover, research and training environment improve significantly as presented by the several international research centers and strategic thinking forums. Now, when you go to Europe, or especially Britain, most of the university in Britain, they have bachelor in Islamic, master, and PhD. That means all the universities, they provide these kind of educations or degrees for people who want to be specialized in the Islamic banking. Islamic capital markets, and in particular Sukuk, continue their superiority over all other assets in the global financial system. For example, the average annual growth rate of Sukuk issued is about 44% for the period from 2004 until 2011. And it is expected that the volume of the issue of the end of the current year is about $165 billion. This is a big figure for new ideas which has just come to the market. Ladies and gentlemen, despite our success in improving the feasibilities of the financial system that is based on the principle of the Sharia transaction, at a quantitative level, there is an urgent need to provide a quality solution to meet the needs of the community in which they are operate. Of these solutions or issues, we highlight three key issues that are important for Islamic banking industry at present. The financial inclusion issue, given its importance to reach to the segments and sectors that have not had the opportunity to benefit from the banking services, and they are very large sector in some countries, up to more than 50% of the population. The provisions of the low-cost funding for the microfinance sector, as well as financing the small and medium enterprise sectors. Finally, supporting the initiatives of the Arab private-public sector partnerships, or rather activating the role of the private sector in support of the production and create jobs. We need to create jobs, either in the Arab countries or in Europe or in America. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that there are many challenges restricting largely the access of Islamic banking to the European markets. But given the nature of these challenges, as they are related mostly to system, regulatory, and legal issues in most cases, they are eligible for evaluation and are capable to accommodate and integrate Islamic banking based on the principle that rationalize in most often later for the applications, i.e. Islamic banking is not that difficult to implemented. It just need certain regulation to be amended, as UK what they did, and as also France what they did recently, to enable Islamic banking to come and operate within Italy. And I believe that Italian regulation and also Italian market has a lot of potential, because Italy is a very good partner to the Arab world. And just to take the North African countries, there is a lot of export coming from Italy to the North African, to Morocco, to Algeria, to Tunis, to Libya, and also to Egypt as well. We are continuing a lot on this forum, or we are counting a lot on this forum by its subjects and discussion and the experience of competitors of the speakers, hoping that we can develop a strategy, deepens a relation with the Islamic banking, and foresees its future role on the Arab and the international level. I wish the conference all the success, and I would like to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak about the Islamic banking, because I'm very proud as Al Baraka Banking Group that we are the largest Islamic bank with about 500 branches located in 15 countries with 10,000 staff and 20 billion balance sheets. And thank you very much.